Hello and welcome to day 4 of Stars and Spokes, cycling from Land's End to John O'Groats. And once again, we're with Pascal. It's only Pascal, as we've talked about before. Pascal, where are you today?
Good morning, Steve. So this morning I find myself in Petersfield, which is about 10 or 15 miles north of Portsmouth. I haven't really done that much cycling yet today, but that's intentional because this morning I spent meeting up with various stakeholders in Portsmouth, which is obviously one of the main naval bases. So the morning's been 3 or 4 hours worth of engaging with various people and not cycling, which is maybe why I'm in such a great mood. Although I do have another 120 kilometers to do once we've had this chat. So so a really productive morning. And I was thinking also this morning that if you're a weather forecaster, it must be the easiest job in the world right now, because every day is the same as the day before, isn't it? So when you're giving that forecast, like weather today, yesterday, same as that. So it's going to be another one of those days, I think, cycling north in the heat.
So my Met Office prediction is perfect weather for cycling yet again.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with your definition of perfect, but yeah, it's sunny, warm weather for cycling. No, but good to be going in a northerly direction, because I know when we spoke yesterday, I was heading south, which wasn't getting me any closer to Scotland, whereas now I'm heading north. So this is an absolute result. So I just keep going north until I run out of land now, basically.
Excellent. So give me a bit more detail about what happened this morning. Sounds like you've had a very busy morning.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, so I'd lined up. It was kind of a morning split into thirds. So the first third was meeting up with 2SL, so the second Sea Lord, so essentially one of the most senior people we have in the Navy who runs the Navy, so like the very top of the Navy, if you like. The next third was then meeting up with the charity guys, so the Royal Navy, Royal Marines charity folk over on Whale Island, which is in Portsmouth, and then finally meeting with the mental health and well-being and people services teams, which is also in Portsmouth. So a morning split into thirds. And I can really quickly talk about what we covered in each of those thirds over a minute or two, if that helps, just to set the scene.
Absolutely. Please do give us a bit more info.
Yeah, so what was really encouraging from the first meeting is that with it being second Sea Lord, the guy who's pretty much setting the strategic direction of the Navy throughout the entire chat that we had together, he absolutely gets all things mental health, which is an absolute win. And it's so encouraging for me when I see senior leadership from the Royal Navy who are not just paying lip service to mental health, they understand how absolutely fundamentally critical mental health is to all personnel. And they are putting initiatives in place all the time to assist personnel with their mental health. Furthermore, for potentially when they leave the service, to make sure they've got those connections back in and they've got those 24/7-hour helplines, they've got those points of contacts. It filled me with great confidence the way he was talking around those really important issues. So that was great. So right at the top of our organization, so the equivalent of like a CEO, I suppose, of a civvy organization, all over mental health, and we're totally going in the right direction, which was extremely encouraging. So
I think that's great news, because sometimes it's difficult to get those kind of subjects onto the agenda, and I think also more importantly talk about them in the public domain, because kind of no one likes to talk about their own mental health particularly, and then maybe how it's challenging your organization. So really important conversations indeed.
Absolutely. And if you compare back to how the Navy was on the subject of mental health, as recently as 20 years ago, it was just something we did not talk about. And I guess that's probably reflective of society more generally, but we are taking great strides now in the right direction and just being massively open about those key subjects, like he was with me. And he didn't know me, and he's a senior leader, and he was very open and frank about mental health. So yeah, starts the day, great, tick, senior leadership, get mental health. So result. And so I left there. And then headed across to just a couple of miles on the bike over to the Royal Navy, Royal Marines charity headquarters, and then met with a bunch of their folk who were incredibly supportive of what I was doing, and gave me plenty of water. So and we had a good old chat, and it was really good, because when I started this project probably about 18 months ago now, so before COVID was a thing, and I had one meeting with the charity, like face to face, and then since then it's all been virtual. So it was amazing to meet the whole charity team face to face, because I think you can build such a better connection with someone, I think, face to face in the flesh when you're there, sat in their office with them. So great to meet the team that are supporting me as I cycle up to John O'Groats. So another tick. So like 2 ticks, and there's one more to come. I don't, spoiler alert, there's another tick in a minute.
There's another tick. So did you get to meet Adrian, the CEO? Because he's a good chap by any stretch.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and we had a couple of photographers following us, Navy photographers. So this morning they were taking photos of me with 2SL, and then when I met Adrian and a couple of the other guys, they took some more photos. So we're going to get the message out there on social media. And Adrian again totally gets it. And I think where the RNRMC, the Royal Navy Royal Marines Charity, really come into it is that enduring long-term support when individuals have maybe left the service, or the family of personnel who maybe haven't come back or have got life-changing injuries. The RNRMC is there for them for 20, 30 years, or however long it takes. And sometimes these mental health issues don't rear their heads until 10, 15 years after an event, for example. And when that happens, the RNRMC are there to support veterans and families and such like. So yeah, they do great work, and it just made me think all this cycling about in 50 billion degree heat is probably worth it, because money's going to support those really good mental health programs that a charity does.
So if anybody in the Royal Navy and Royal Marine family, because it is the family, it's not just serving, it's not just veterans, it's family members, need support, they are on the website, on the internet, rnrmc.org. I think it is off the top of my head, but just Google RNRMC, Royal Navy and Royal Marines Charity, and go from there. I know their contact details are on their page, without a doubt. So that's great news. Have you got another tick, did you say?
Yeah, I've got a third tick. So I then met up with all the mental health and wellbeing team also in Portsmouth, and we talked about in a little bit more detail, because they're almost the doers. So the strategic direction set by senior leaders, and then these guys that I met for the last third of the morning, the guys that do all the doing in terms of the mental health support, putting all these processes in place so that folk can reach out anytime they should need sort of mental health support. All that provision is now available to them, again, 24/7. And it was amazing to hear how much work has gone into this over the past year, and how much more work is going to go into it over the next couple of years. And we're going to be in a really good position with respect to mental health in the service, I think, come sort of 12 months time. And I feel good to be part of that. So yeah, triple tick. What a start to the day. And no cycling. Quadruple tick.
So my producer has just informed me that it's the rnrmc.org.uk. So that's good. Well done for your triple ticks. And I have to say, you are looking as fresh as a daisy today. So I can sense that the cycling's yet to begin. And I just, you started our preamble before we went live by showing me what your afternoon refreshments are. Would you like to show everybody how hard it is, this solo unsupported cycling? Well, how difficult it is today anyway. So what have you got?
You're forcing me to shatter the illusion of my hardcore cycling. So I've turned up in Petersfield, and I've got a bunch of stuff on, hopefully you can see on the table. There's like a fajita, there's an iced coffee, and there's a lot of water, as you might expect. So yeah, today is a slightly less hardcore day in terms of the cycling, but no, this afternoon I've got 5 or 6 hours of cycling ahead of me. So it's all getting fuel in the system, getting hydrated, and then getting onto the open road, heading north for the next, about 120k left today.
I love the way you just spun a fajita into rehydrating and re-energizing. I think that's brilliant. So you're also using this wonderful cafe's Wi-Fi, because we had some problems with connectivity earlier on. I think we probably ought to give them a shout out for being so obliging.
Yeah, so if you end up in, where am I? Petersfield, head to the Townhouse Cafe, which is on the high street. They've got excellent Wi-Fi. So if you're doing a Facebook Live, I'd highly recommend them. Because I know when I first stopped, because I was slightly behind schedule, I ended up in a random forest with terrible connectivity. So I then shifted onto here, and now it's on the Wi-Fi, and we're living the dream again. So yeah, all is well.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Your previous location looked beautiful, but I couldn't hear a word you were saying. So it wasn't probably not that great.
Double win, surely.
So where are you heading to? What's the plan for the next 24 hours, please, Pascal?
Yeah, so the plan is to get myself up to Northwood this afternoon, or for this evening, realistically, which is just to the northwest of London. It's kind of Watford area. And then get my head down there at the base up there, and then beyond that, so into tomorrow, then it's quite a long day actually. It's about a 210k day tomorrow, so that's why it's quite good to have a slightly quieter day today in terms of the overall distance, and a big old day tomorrow. Yeah, so a lot of cycling over the next 24 hours basically.
So no fajitas tomorrow then, please. Some proper sports nutrition.
Yeah, proper nutrition tomorrow. So yeah, but no, looking forward to it. And it feels great to be heading like directly north, because up to this point I've been heading kind of due east, and the traditional LEJOG route, Land's End to John O'Groats route, is 1,500k. I'm actually doing a 2,000k version because I detoured down to Portsmouth to have all these stakeholder engagement meetings, etc., etc. So now I'm actually generally making progress. Every kilometre is in a northerly direction and gets me closer to John O'Groats now. So yeah, making real progress.
Brilliant. We've got a couple of comments, or you've got a couple of comments on your Just Giving page. Let's see if you know some of these people. We've got a chap called Andrew Thompson, and he said, from an ex-army bleep. I'm sure there's probably some sort of banter in there. Well done. I don't know if you know that chap. And then Luke Hayashi, if I've pronounced that correctly. And he's put there, envious of the adventure, but not the heat. Go steady, nice work, and a great cause, shipmate.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I know Andrew from my running club. So yeah, he's an ex-army signaller, and Luke I served with on a warship. It must be about 10 years ago now. Really good guy, and yeah, it's the first time I've heard from him in a while. So great to have his support. So thanks all.
Brilliant. So we're also creating a little social club for you. What more?
Yeah, we are. I catch up with people I haven't seen for a while. So that's great. That's the main idea here, isn't it?
So once again, Pascal, thanks for the update. I need you to let you have your fajita and your iced coffee, and please take our support with you, because we're really, really delighted to see what you're trying to achieve here. And I know probably because of our chats that we have, how difficult this is doing all this all on your own, despite my teasing you about your refreshments today. So just keep pedaling, which is my new hashtag for you, by the way.
Am I going to hear that every day, am I, Steve? Just keep pedaling. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's kind of
solid advice.
Finding Nemo rides a bike kind of approach.
It's the first time I've heard that. No, that's great. No, any encouragement is very well received. So thank you very much. It's good to have our daily sort of confessional chats. It's been great. Thanks, Steve. And same time, same place tomorrow, I guess.
Well, yes, not the same time. 12:30. We'll go back to the 12:30.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
If we're delayed, then we are clearly delayed. But we will let people know on our Facebook page. But yes, tomorrow 12:30, and then we'll see where you are.
Excellent. All right then, Steve. I'll catch you tomorrow then.
See you tomorrow.